is very funny because the very first record I ever got that I remember that I wanted and got was the Singing Nun.
Yeah,
so I think my fate was sealed.
that was a prophetic choice.
Yeah, and it was a real bizarre choice, I think, for it. Like, I was probably about 4.
Really?
When I was into that. I wanted to marry her. I didn't know that they weren't allowed to marry. So, but
you know what I heard about her, though? Didn't she, like, commit suicide?
I heard that, too.
Yeah,
but,
sad.
she's European. They do wacko things. I mean, they're just different than we are.
Especially those nuns.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that would be a dreary life sometimes.
Yeah. There's these nuns in France I just read about that they sold their convent illegally and then moved to southern France and bought limos and stuff. And they're like 90 years old, too. These are like old nuns.
Yeah. See, I would hate to blow up that late in life because how much can you really enjoy sin when you're 90?
Certain things you're probably incapable of enjoying at that point in the game.
Yeah, probably all the better things there.
Yeah, seriously.
So, but anyway, I think the first, let's see, then I bought an album. I think the first album I ever bought was like a little album about Henry Ford. I don't know why, but I wanted to grow up and just how you go through those things when you're in about 4th grade. I wanted to go into mass production. I wanted to build cars.
Was it a music album?
No.
It was like a narration thing?
It was like a narrated story of his life, yeah. And then, but then the first rock album I bought with my own money was Moody Blues, In Search of the Lost Chord. Because I used to sneak up to my cousins to listen to rock music.
Did you? They wouldn't let you do it at home?
Well, it was never like a forbidden thing, but it was kind of like you had to play it real quiet, and what's the point? If you have to listen to it quietly, you may as well just turn it off. So I would go to my cousins. This was when I was real little. And but I remember one night he came in and turned on In Search of the Lost Chord by the Moody Blues, and I thought it was the most exciting thing I'd ever heard. So, yeah, that was kind of...
Went down $4.98 and go bought it, huh?
Yeah, I can remember when you used to buy a couple. But what I would do is I would skip meals at school and save my money to buy albums with. And my parents were, I don't know why they didn't figure out where was that money coming from. They would just say, why do you eat 2 bowls of ice cream when you get home?
You just show up with an album, and they wonder where it came from.
Yeah, then I remember I got the soundtrack to Hair one time, and my mom made me trade it because I didn't know what half the words meant on the album, and it was... so I'm walking around the house singing words that have meanings that she didn't feel like were appropriate for a junior high kid to be singing. And so she made me get rid of it. So I traded it to Billy Bennett for a Frank Zappa album, which was, he had obscene words, only I knew what his words meant. But it was just kind of
a lateral trade, huh?
Little thing that I did just to be nasty.
What else did you have in your collection?
Well, I was, let's see, Blue Cheer is probably the most embarrassing thing. Yeah, I don't know why, except that I went to the drive-in with my older sister and one of her friends, and I was really in love with this friend of my older sister's. Her name was Leslie, in fact. And she had long blonde hair, and I just remember thinking, wow, I really, and she listened to Blue Cheer, so I decided to memorize Blue Cheer albums. But, I had most of the Beatle albums, and...
Did you ever get any Beach Boys?
I never did like the Beach Boys.
I
always just thought they should. I always thought it was, I always thought it was really dull. Well, I never liked California. I mean, I've always had a thing. In fact, I have a real prejudice against California. It's really hard for me to be there. It's the only place in the world I ever stopped a concert in the middle and left. They're just very rude people.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like them.
Huh. That's interesting.
No, I had several good concerts in L.A., but this one particular concert, I just thought they were so arrogant.
Where were you playing? At a church?
Uh-huh. And I just said, you know what, I'm sorry, this is probably my hang-up, but I don't think I can sing to you guys, because you're very arrogant, and you're not interested in anything that I'm interested in, and so we're all kind of wasting our time here, and y'all should probably go put on bobby socks and dance on the beach. I'm going back to the real world now.
Were they just kind of sitting there in stunned silence?
Yeah, it was really kind of cool, too, because actually I made it a somewhat spiritual application. And because I don't think that it's good to be rude to an audience. I think if they've gone to the bother to be there, you should go to the bother to give them the best show you can. But I did talk to them about arrogance and why I wouldn't sing Awesome God to them, and how God opposes the proud, and that they were proud, and that their actions and their dress and everything about them indicated that. And I just had a kind of a spiritual feeling. Like, I'm not one of those spiritual weirdos or anything, but I did definitely, there was just a very arrogant vibe coming up. And some people, several of the kids who were at the concert that night came to the concert the next night, which was maybe 30 miles away, and they said, wow, that there was nothing. I mean, because afterwards I felt terrible. I just went, I'm so embarrassed. I mean, I think I did a very bad thing. And then there was this good delegation of kids that came from that concert, and they said, man, it's unbelievable because our youth leader has been talking about that, and nobody would listen to him, and that was the first time anyone has ever said anything about arrogance that really kind of got through. So I felt kind of good about that. I mean, sometimes you can make big mistakes, and God can even take your mistakes and turn them into something worthwhile.
Well, I like the fact that you will not suffer through something you don't feel is happening, but just say, hey, it's not working out, and I'm out of here. And my goal is to have you walk out of my interview someday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
get mad at me and walk out.
The nice thing about an interview is because I'm fairly talkative, and a lot of, I feel sorry for you guys trying to interview some of these people because they're so shy, but I'm just not very intimidated by one person, and you just have to forget that you might play this on the radio, and you just sit down and talk to you, because I think that's what, a good interview is, someone talking to someone else and everybody else eavesdropping.
Exactly, kind of My Dinner with Andre, only it's me and an artist,
Yeah, sort of.
Well,
I never saw that movie.
I never did either, but I heard it was basically just a conversation between these two people, and it was fixed camera on this table for 90 minutes.
Wow.
And that was it.
But that could be interesting.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you, I'm sure that you dress this way all the time, right? And I dress this way all the time, and you're not putting on special duds just for an interview, I appreciate the fact that you're totally who you are at all times.
Yeah. Well, that's only partially true.
Well, my impression is that anyway, that you are the same way on and off stage, the same way at home as you are in a crowd of people, and I get kind of, I get kind of bugged when I feel like people are portraying themselves as something they're not, or something, when they try to, and I have a hang-up about that. You talk about hang-ups. I want people to be totally real in who they are, and if they're having a lousy day, to tell me that.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't. Sometimes people have their own agenda when you come to an interview, and they're not really willing to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
They want to just kind of read the answers they think maybe their fans want to hear or something. But
well, I guess I feel like people want to hear the truth. I feel like people want to hear honesty, and I don't think that it's always advantageous for me to think that whatever I'm feeling at this particular moment is important enough that people should have to suffer through it with me. On a radio station several days later in a location millions of miles away. But I do feel like people can tell a phony, and I think I'm phony. I think everybody is phony. We all get these ideas about ourselves, and then we try to live up to them, and then something really wonderful happens, and we blow our own self-image, and we go, oh, I'm so glad. Like being here, I had to host the New Artist Showcase, and that's like a real weird experience for me to be an MC. I've never done that before, and sometimes I feel like Mr. Homespun and Mr. Down to Earth and everything, and I went, wow, I don't know if I can do this or not, and I finally just went, you know what, I don't know why I can't do this. I can do a lot of things that I never would have thought I would have been able to do. So what I need to do is just look at this and say, okay, my job is to introduce new artists and to set them up in such a way that they have every possibility of winning, of making a favorable impression. And I don't have to do it like everybody else does it. What they really need is for me to be as clear as possible and to move along, to keep things going. And so it was fun to try on a new role, a new hat, and to try new things out. But sometimes we can be awfully self-limiting.
Right. We have these ideas of the things that we can and can't do. But I think you did it admirably. I was there, and it was fun.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Wasn't it? It was just supposed to be fun. It's kind of like, if it's not going to be fun, it's kind of like, why bother,
Yeah. And I think generally, I do feel like if I'm in a concert and I'm having fun, that it's going to be easier for the audience to have fun. If I'm having a miserable time, you know, that's when I have to go, can this audience enjoy me? I'm not going, you know. No, they probably can't, because they're probably, my being uptight is going to get in the way of what I have to say. So you have to learn how to say, okay, I'm uptight, and I need to not be uptight right now. I guess it's kind of practice. I kind of like getting to know a sound real good before I try to put lyrics, because I feel like the lyrics should be interpreting the music. Mm-hmm. That if I was a great writer, I wouldn't need to write a lyric. If I was a really great musician, I could just do the music, and the music would speak for itself.
You don't feel that confident as a musician to do instrumental stuff? Or do you?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if anybody else would be interested in hearing it, you know. So, but I actually at home I really prefer instrumental music to lyric music, just because I'm tired of, you know. Well, you know, I go to school all day and come home and I don't want to listen to something I have to think about. So generally I don't put on music at all, frankly.
Nor do I when I get home after sitting around it all day. Or if anything, it's classical. Do you get any classical music at all?
Well, yes. Well, not like classical in the strict sense, but like I like Prokofiev a whole lot. Like he's been kind of my new thing. And of course, Copeland. Living in Kansas, you have to listen to.
You gotta listen to Hoedown and some of these things, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff. I like it.
And but I went through a real Mozart kind of phase, and then leaked over into Haydn a little bit. Haydn I really like, but actually my favorite of all those guys is Bach. I think Bach is. Well, I really like the Baroque sound. I think it's a very neat sound, and Bach just, for some reason, is very emotional to me. When I listen to like his violin concertos, other people, you know, say, "Oh, they're very mathematical." I'm like, listen to this. This is very emotional. This is like, in fact, passionate. I think, even more so than, I mean, just as much as Beethoven. People, you talk about how passionate Beethoven was. Well, he was. I don't know, I'm sure he was, but I don't hear any less passion in what Bach was doing.
That's interesting.
There's just a little more order behind that passion. And sometimes it's kind of like, well, meekness is passion under control. In fact, it comes from a Greek word, I think, now I could be wrong, but I think it comes from a Greek word that means being angry at the right time, being angry in the right circumstances. And meek was used to describe war horses, which was a horse that was a very powerful horse, a horse that was very fearless, but it was completely controlled in that fear. It was completely under the control of one master. It was more afraid of this master than it was of the fire that it was running into. And so it would utterly obey. And that's what I hear when I hear Bach. I hear this terrific amount of passion, this huge feelings, and yet they never run rampant. They're always there, and they're always controlled. And so it's kind of like good pacing, you know, because people get too passionate too fast. Things are over way too early. So I think it's good to pace it.
How do you feel about the fugues and things like that Bach did?
Well, they're very interesting. I actually, now those I would get a little bored listening to, like one after the other. But they're certainly fun to play. They're a lot more fun to play, I think, than they are to listen to.
Didn't Bach do the Anna Magdalena notebook? Did he do that?
Well, I don't know.
That's always one of been my favorites. But I like, talking about passion, I think there's a lot of really passionate classical music can be really inspiring for your own creativity.
Yeah, and just for fun.
Yeah, well, I like to crank some of these things. Do you know Carmina Burana? Are you familiar with that?
No.
Did you ever see the movie Glory?
Yes.
You know the music? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
That's Carmina Burana. It's by Carl Orff. It's just like powerful choral kind of stuff. So I really like that kind of stuff.
Well, you know the guy that okay, that was the Harlem the Boys Choir of Harlem.
Okay.
Sang. I mean, they're that terrific boys choir. Well, this friend of mine was hitchhiking in up in Cape Cod, and the director of the Boys Choir of Harlem picked him up. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And they talked about it. And then we were watching 60 Minutes one night, and the guy comes on 60 Minutes, and Beaker's going, I know this guy. So he's been a big inspiration to us. You know, and then to see, and I thought it was a wonderful movie. And I thought it was really, there wasn't any, I don't think there was any nudity. There was certainly violence, but it wasn't like glorified violence.
Gratuitous.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, let's get that chainsaw out. It was just kind of like, yeah, this is what war is like. And But just the heroism, I mean, I just went, man, it's so wonderful to see a movie where people really believe in something enough that they will set themselves aside and go for it. And I thought it was the scene where they were praying was, I mean, honestly, just very, very moving to me. I just went, wow, if we were sitting on, on the last night of our lives, knowing that the next day we'd be slaughtered, I would probably be writing like really adolescent, depressed kind of poetry, going, oh, what is life worth? And these guys are out there saying, Lord, we may be coming home, so help. It was like, yeah, we know we might die, so help us to go out good.
That was a fantastic movie.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you liked it.
I was really pleased that Denzel Washington got the Oscar.
Oh, yeah, I never watched Oscars.
I don't either, but I knew that he got it.
That's good.
I have to get up at like 4:30 in the morning, so I don't stay up that late anyway.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I don't get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Don't you? Earlier?
No.
Don't you get up at like 3 and just start praying from 3 to 6?
No, I don't.
Nor do I.
As a matter of fact.
Isn't that interesting? I don't think I've ever done that, as a matter of fact.
No, I figured Jesus did that, so he took care of me.
There you go. What kind of environment do you like to write in? I mean, do you like to light a vanilla candle and,
No, normally I write in my truck.
Do you?
Yeah.
When you're driving, you mean?
I do most of my writing in my truck, yeah. But I also, I do a lot of co-writing. And I really like to co-write more than I like writing by myself. So when you write by yourself, you certainly have a lot more control over the finished product. But being able to, it's for me a great test to be able to relinquish some of that control and say, you know what, I could make this go in a certain direction, but I think it's more interesting when you see what happens when 2 or 3 people get together and work on something together. Then what you have finished is bigger than your own ideas.
Do you ever find, like, you watch movies and you hear things and you see things throughout the course of your life that really make an impact on you? Do you ever feel like just sitting down, like, I want to write a song about this or this idea, and it may not necessarily be a real Christian quote-unquote song or evangelical? And so the question was, did you or did you not know? It was,
Where were you on the night of December 16th?
Yes. Where were you?
I don't
December
know.
16th?
I can't remember. I figured if the president can't remember, I shouldn't have to.
I think there's a
So I'm going to tell the
12-minute
IRS next time they call me up. How in the world am I supposed to remember? The president of our country can't remember if he ordered these things or not. How am I supposed to remember how much money I made or
I think
didn't
that'll
make?
work. Can I use that?
I don't know. It works if you were an elected official. It would
Yeah,
work.
there you go.
Just being a taxpayer probably won't get you anywhere.
So I wanted to know, I mean, haven't you ever, like, written a song and thinking, like, I know that this will never make it onto a record, but this is something I wanted to write about, and I really wanted to, whether it was goofy or whether it was serious or whether you're like, I want to write one in Latin or something,
Some of my favorite songs will never be on records. They're just nobody's business but my own,
Who do you share those with? Nobody? Just you? You just play them for yourself?
Yeah, it's a totally selfish thing, but I think I'm allowed a little bit of selfishness. I mean, I'm generally a very, very generous guy, but I think there are things that you need to, well, you don't need to, but I think there are things that just make sense to me that really wouldn't necessarily, like I think it's real, I don't know, sometimes I read, like some of the T.S. Eliot's early stuff and you read it and you go, man, you'd really have to get inside this guy to understand what he's like, and I'm kind of like, I'm not that interested in you to get inside you. And I certainly don't expect you to be interested enough in me to try to get under my skin, so I should just keep this for myself. I mean, maybe if I have grandkids, maybe they'll dig out all these old papers of mine and they'll read through them and they'll say, wow, Grandpa was really a nice guy, wasn't he? Or a weird guy, or man, he seemed very depressed. But that kind of stuff is fun to discover. It's not nearly as neat when it's published.
Right. Good. Thank you. Can you do some IDs for me before we wrap up? Before you wrap up?
I can.
But will you?
But will I? Hi, this is Rich Mullins, and you're listening to KCMS, Christian Music, 105 FM.
That's good. In Seattle.
Oh, okay.
I talked to you on the phone once.
Yeah.
Remember you called me, or I called you, one or the other. You came out for an interview once. You were doing a concert.
Do you like David Letterman?
I don't get a chance to watch him.
Oh, yeah, because you have to go to bed.
I used to watch him when I worked the evening shift all the
time.
time.
Do you tape him and watch him in the morning?
I haven't. I really haven't.
Yeah.
What?
I don't watch him very much. You just kind of have a tone in your voice like his.
Kind of sarcastic and cynical.
Yeah, you sound a little bit cynical.
Do I?
Yeah, I don't think you are, but I mean, you just kind of have that.
I might be really cynical, I guess this week has brought out the cynic in me a little bit. in certain aspects.
Yeah, you gotta watch that.
Well, is it just me or is it everybody?
It's everybody. You really have to. I mean, I have to like sit myself down and say, you know what? I am really, really lucky to be here, and there are some really good people out there, and I really don't need to. They really don't need to get the brunt of the chip on my shoulder. And what I need to do is go out there, and when people are good to you, you just be as good as you can be back. And when people are bad to you, it's probably because they've really been stuck somewhere along here. And so maybe if you treat them nice, maybe they'll realize that not everybody's a bad guy. So you just sit down and give yourself that talk.
I will. I'll just play this back. I'll loop it.
Yeah, okay.
Until
You want me to do another? Okay, this is Rich Mullins, and you're listening to... Oh! Okay, so you have some like specific things you want me to say.
No, that was good. I had one. Now, this is something I always have to ask permission for in advance because we do this contest, Christmas time. It's a Christmas mystery singer. We have, an artist will like sing a couple of lines of a Christmas song, and then they try to call it, guess who it is.
Okay.
Yeah? Would you do?
My favorite Christmas song?
Whatever. And so here's the script.
Hi, this is... Oh. One whole verse? Oh, why did I think of a Christmas song?
Or just a line, like, chestnuts roasting on an open fire, that's enough.
Or like, Christians roasting on an open fire.
On an open
Lions
spit.
nipping at their toes. That's vicious.
Nero's got burning ones up in here.
Okay, let me think of a good Christmas song. What is a good Christmas
Do you like
song?
any Christmas songs?
Oh man, Christmas is my favorite song. Do you know, Lo, our roses bloom.
Isn't it Pretorius, right?
Yeah, but I can't remember the second line.
That's all right.
From Jesse's
Loin.
has
Line.
sprung.
Root. Jesse's root has sprung.
Isaiah was saw come. Oh no, how's it go?
What is it? Isaiah twice foretold it.
Was foretold.
The something I had in mind.
The rose I had in mind. I had in mind.
Oh, now that you asked me.
Oh, lo, how a rose are blooming.
A rose are blooming of Jesse's land. From tender sprig hath sprung. I don't know, that's not it, but it's something funky like that.
Well, as long as you just know Jesse's stem has sprung.
No,
I thought it was Jesse's root.
From tender stem hath sprung.
Of Jesse's
Lineage
coming. Something.
Papa do run run. Isn't
Papa
that it?
do run run.
Isn't that the last line of it?
Boy, that is such a beautiful carol too.
That is my
It's
favorite.
Pretorius.
But-
He's Baroque.
Yeah, well he's a little pre-Baroque, isn't he?
Oh, that's right. He was like early music is what they
Like
call him.
way
Remember
early.
Terpsichore? You know that one?
No.
You know that? Remember that song "Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead"? In the middle of it goes. That's Pretorius. And
Really?
They quoted that in this "Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead."
That's so cool.
I don't know why they knew that, but
Ding dong, the witch is dead, little witch on the way.
that's a good Christmas song.
Is that a Christmas song?
It has applications.
Well, I don't think.
Oh,
The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, but it was recorded like just as a pop song. Okay, trivia question. What song? I think it's Roger. Wait a minute. But no, Meredith someone wrote Music Man. What song from the Music Man did the Beatles record?
Well, it wasn't Marion the Librarian.
Hey, what's that tank bridge?
And they do it great.
And it's not, oh, the well Fargo wagon is a coming down the street.
Wow, good catch.
No, it's not that, and it's not, rhymes with a P and stands for pool. Remember that one? It's not,
Nope.
it's not on,
Come on.
Is it on there?
No, it's not on there.
It's not 76 trombones.
Throw me off. Bells on the hill.
Yeah!
Oh, that's right.
You
Till there
win.
was you.
Till there was
Till
you.
there was
That
you.
is a good trivia
Isn't that
question.
shocking? Yeah, okay. A Christmas song. Oh, I wish I could think of a really cool one, but I'll probably think of something real corny.
As long as it's not Silent Night. What's your most hated Christmas song? And we'll sing that.
Da 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 da. They're all from Christmas.
How about
Peace on earth,
Christmas in
goodwill
Killarney?
to men.
Did you ever the Bing Crosby Christmas album?
No.
Okay. Nothing.
How about while shepherds watch their flocks by night?
While shepherds watch their flocks by night. Who wrote that?
While shepherds.
Da 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 da.
Okay.
The angel of the Lord came down and glory shone around.
It's classical.
And glory Baroque
It's
shone around.
Is it
That's
Bach?
great.
Is it Bach?
No, but it is Baroque.
It's Baroque.
Yeah. Da da da. He was born the same year Bach was born. It wasn't Scarlatti.
Domenico or Flaminio?
I think it was Domenico was born their
Okay.
year. But have you ever heard the mandolin concerti?
Yes.
I can't find that anywhere. I've looked all over record stores and nobody has it. I mean, I've
I've
looked
heard
in
it
New
on
York. I've
classical
looked,
stations back in Seattle. I've
it's,
never seen it.
It's amazing. It's like a whole orchestra all made up of different sizes of mandolins.
It's beautiful.
It's a great sound. Okay. Handel.
That was my next guess.
Yeah.
That was my next guess. Handel.
Da-da-dun-dun. Oh, I like it. Gloria. Who wrote that, though? I can't remember.
Michel Pillar, wasn't it?
I also like.
And Come Away, Faithful.
They told him.
Did you write O Come Away, Faithful?
Born King forever.
Oh, you mean Little Drummer Boy?
Yeah, that's
Harry
a great
Simeon
song.
Chorale.
Okay, I remember that. That song when I was a little kid. I thought it was so cool.
That was a good one.
Oh.
That's great. I'm glad.
Hey, Rich, do you remember Allen County? You met him.
Yeah.
This is Rich Mullins. Y'all met.
Hey,
Howdy, we were at the same camp together for
that's right.
Overland.
And this is Mike Atkinson that works with him.
Hi.
They want to play the game of Trivial Pursuit with us.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Trivia. Okay.
Does anybody know how I Saw Mama Kissing Santa Claus goes?
I saw Mommy
kissing Santa
You guys
Claus
don't listen to the words.
underneath the mistletoe last night. But Christians get upset about Santa Claus.
They get upset
Goof
about
on
the
us.
scene too.
Oh.
I would do
Okay.
it. Ruffle some feathers.
Oh, no, that's okay. Hi, this is, okay, so go?
Go.
Oh, wait, we could do Gloria, and you guys could sing like that. Gloria. Okay, y'all come in on the chorus, ready? Hi, this is Rich Mullins wishing you, oh, wait, I'm reading the wrong thing. Hi, this is today's Christmas mystery singer. That's me. So, listen, angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plain, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strain. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo. If you know who I am, call right now at 546-7379. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Finally got the Christmas song I wanted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No one sang that?
No one said that one. I asked you to do it. You can read as many of those or as few of them as you wish.
Wow, as the curtain of darkness descends over Seattle, a warm light begins to glow. In the small shack on the outskirts of this city, as we enter the building, we suddenly are aware of the strange noise. It's KCMS Club 105. Hi, this is Rich Mullins. Let's go. That was awful. That was one of the worst readings of this thing I'm sure ever. I thought it was going to be a poem. Okay, hi, this is Rich Mullins, wishing you the joy of Christmas all year long. I sound just like my government professor.
Yeah.
My government professor talks like this. He breaks and then he gets all excited and says things in funny orders.
Right in the middle of words.
It's really funny. Okay, yeah, we better quit.
Okay.
Doug? Oh, thanks. It's quite well starting to hear, a person here and a person there and a person there that are, sort of there in front of Are you based out of California?
Atlanta. I live in Atlanta.
Oh, so do I. Wow. So, do you ever go to Melbourne?
I'm actually what I'm doing right now. Hi, this is Michael Gleason on KCMS Club 105. Feel free to turn this one up a little bit louder.